I have over 3,000 hours in Final Fantasy XIV, which is definitely rookie numbers to certain people, but to me, this is one of the games I have played the most. And of course, Final Fantasy XIV is a very popular and well-received game, having 65,000 average very positive reviews on Steam. Some people reviewing this game have almost 18,000 hours, 14,000 hours. Finally finished with Character Creator, so I'm ready to begin my adventure. Jesus Christ. So we found out that this game has plenty of positive reviews, but what about the negative reviews? Well, let's find out what they say. We got 8,200 to look through, which I'm definitely not doing. You need a Steam account, a Square Enix account, a MOG Station account, a registration key, which can only be applied to one Square Enix account. You can link a Steam account to a Square Enix account, but then can't unlink it. Right, these are all actually pretty valid. None of this has to do with the actual game itself, but for what it is, I would say that this is decently valid. The sign-up process for this game is ancient, and they'd be doing themselves a huge favor if they just change it. Don't recommend if you ever plan on moving abroad for any reason. Security is absolutely ridiculous. The region locking and layers of garbage you have to go through just to play is such a pain in the ass. I lost years of progress since I moved from the US to Australia for work. That's kind of weird. I had no idea about this, but honestly, kind of valid too. Right, we're on the Steam page, so let's see what this one has to say. Do yourself a favor and just buy it on the website. The amount of grief you'll end up going through trying to figure it out on Steam versus the website is not worth your time. I don't really understand this one. I wanted to get the game on Steam just because Steam is what I use the most, and I didn't have any crazy issues with it, but I guess some people might have different experiences. Subscription not available in Canada. I have some Canadian friends who have been subscribed to this game since 2014. I don't know what this is about. I downloaded it for 16 hours, and because Steam thinks it downloading is me playing, I can't get a return from it. That sucks. Most of these negative reviews are just about accessing the video game, so I'm gonna look for one that isn't about that. A fun MMO with plenty to do. The job system is great for exploring new roles without completely starting a new character over, and the people are friendly. That said, do not purchase this shit on Steam. God damn. I have been scrolling forever, and I just haven't found one that's not about the stupid login process. Ah, yeah, here's one. This game ruined my life in a bad way. Account management. Getting into the game is the hardest part. This is a review of the Square Enix and its launcher, not the game. Login process is cancer. Shouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how to start a subscription. Finally, one that's not about the login. It's a wormhole. Do not enter it. You cannot leave if you do. It's too late for me. Save yourself. Thank you. You and your 11,000 hours have saved this video. Oh yeah, a nightmare to register. I just gave up. Don't get me wrong, I think this game is great for the most part, but I'm gonna give it a negative review because of one major problem that anyone who wishes to get into the game should know beforehand. The game has some of the worst quest design I've ever experienced in an MMORPG. The problem mainly shows its ugly face when playing through the main storyline or going through the various class-related quest lines. I don't really know what this is talking about. I've played plenty of MMOs and it feels quite similar to most of the other ones I've played, in the sense where the majority of quests are talk to this guy, then go talk to that guy, then maybe kill a few things, and then come back. That's pretty much what it is. Trying to log into this game is like being the first wave of Americans storming Normandy. Good luck trying to register your account. Don't purchase this from Steam, go straight to Square Enix. All right, we have a massive one here. Oh my god, TLDR. To end this video, I'm gonna read this entire thing. By the time you're reading this, I'm sure I'll already have more hours in the game, and the review will surely say how many hours I have at the time of writing this. The only reason I started playing this game is because of my friends playing it. The game is not fun. The writing is not good. That's crazy. At the start of the game, I actually agree. And they had 3,000 hours at the time of writing this too, huh? The community is entirely too comfortable with being toxic. In some ways, I see that, but like, this guy's not played WoW. Combat consists mainly of pressing the same few buttons over and over in repetition. The game itself seems averse to teaching you anything. Every dungeon, every raid, every group instance has its own discrete mechanics, and it tells you nothing. No MMOs ever tell you anything. You have to figure this shit out. I don't need my hand to be held, but I at least like to know if an AoE is supposed to be avoided or not. Yeah, that's just something that you have to learn. Like, if it just said on the screen, hey, avoid this, or hey, go this way, it would kind of ruin the experience. Games like this are always a trial and error thing, because once you play the dungeon or the trial a few times, you'll start to learn it on your own. Like, if you're being told what to do for every AoE, that is holding your hand. So I don't know why you're saying you don't want your hand to be held and then immediately asking for your hand to be held. Let's see, this part seems to be complaining about mentors. Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I don't want to read this anymore because it's too fucking long. And yeah, I agree. Mentors are usually just bullshitting with their crown. Like, they usually are just assholes. So yeah, this part's pretty valid, but I'm not going to read it. And the content itself is barely worth doing, especially after factoring in such toxic players. I mean, this guy's acting like every player he's met is toxic. Like, it's not that deep. I have not met that many genuinely toxic players in this game, and I used to just go around talking to people all the time. And if everybody you run into is toxic, then I feel like you're surrounding yourself with the wrong people, or just not approaching the right people. Instanced content, as I stated before, is you pressing the same handful of buttons in a row while doing mechanics that the game refuses to teach, same via trial and error. That's the whole point. These instances are plopped in between hours of running around and watching cutscenes and engaging in time padded. I mean, that's just how the story is. Like, these are kind of non-issues. He just doesn't like MMOs. That's what I'm getting from this. Genuinely has a disinterest in the way MMOs work, because this is how all of them function. There are main story quests that consist of nothing but going from point A to point B, then back to point A. Yeah, that's because it's a story. I personally was not interested in the story until Shadowbringers. I just didn't really pay attention, and I instead watched reviews on it. I watched the cutscenes back when I had more time and interest. But if I made a negative review on this game, I wouldn't talk about where I had to walk to listen to the cutscenes of the story. That's just how the story works. So it seems like this player really just does not like the entire formula of how most MMOs function. World of Warcraft has the exact same thing, where if you bothered reading the text for the main story stuff, it would just be read this, go to point A, read that, go to point B, kill something, go back to point A, and repeat, because that's how it's always worked in MMOs. Yeah, I think I'm done reading this part, but it seems like a bunch of non-issues or complaining for no reason. And I don't mean to be a huge defender of this game, because I haven't even been playing it recently. I genuinely got bored, and I'm just waiting for the new expansion to come out. But besides that, I still think it's an amazing game. This game locked in 3,000 hours for me, which is really hard for a game to do. Yes, it has problems, but I feel like this is blowing it out of proportion. I think this review could have been summed up as, hey, I don't like how this game functions. All right, GG. But all right, that's gonna do it. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.